All right, so for the last 29 minutes, I'm sure we've been inspired into greatness by our speaker here, Mr. Daniela Jaku. And I'll be coming to you for some questions. But of course, I have two quick ones for you, Mr. Jaku. I want to know, and pretty much for all the principles or habits you shared, but particularly on the reading. I'm an avid reader. I think I read like almost everything in the world. And I want to know what should be the fine balance. How much of reading is too much? Just to, keep me in check and balance.
Well, that's a great question there, Eric. That's a very great question. How much is too much? Reading is a good habit, so I do not think that there's something like too much reading, except to say that I would advise that youth or any reader should be selective. You're looking at what is going to add more value to you because, well, novels are also things you can read. There are what you call Harlequin romance books and Mills and Boom, and these are books too. You know, you can be an avid reader and an avid reader of Mills and Booms or an avid reader of Harlequin romance series. But the question is, what is it going to add to you as a person? What are you going to get from it? So you read a lot, but read the right stuff. Personal development books is what I will recommend for anybody. Personal development. And today the world is littered with so many of them. And I can tell you, they are not just principles, but you see, principles are universal. If people have applied them in America and they've worked, I can tell you that they will work in Africa. The principles of wealth creation apply everywhere in the world. They apply everywhere. Dangote was not born in America. He wasn't born in America, but he applied the principles of wealth creation. So, what do you read? Read personal development stuff, things that would develop more. Books with titles about career development, titles on maybe developing, being able to manage your time, books about being able to communicate, be a good public speaker. These are personal development, what you call self-help books. Self-help books. I think that spend a lot of time on that. And the truth is that there are so many books on the market, but there are a few amazing and classic titles. There are certain books that have been there for years, but we keep reading them, like Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, like The Power of Positive Thinking by Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, like Tough Times Never Last, but Tough People Do by Dr. Robert Schuller. I mean, these are old titles, but are still very relevant today. Very powerful titles today. We can hear some of the finest thought leaders in the world talk about some of these books today that they have read them. Like I can't forget that book, The Magic of Thinking Big by David J. Schwartz. These are books that are timeless. And I want you to, let's go back to them. Like The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clason. These are titles that are timeless. There are new versions that are always printed. Some were printed in Old English, but today they are in present day English. These are some of them. So you can read 5 of these classics. You may not read any other thing again. You can keep going over them. But just be selective about what you read. Read the right stuff. And you realize that it's not too much. There's nothing like gaining too much knowledge. The world is moving at a fast pace. Look at how many times you update your app, your Facebook app. Maybe in a week you update it 3 or 4 times. That's how much knowledge is growing in Silicon Valley. And that tells you that there's nothing like too much. Read, keep reading, and read more.
Okay, my question is, what are some several possible ways whereby we can get in touch with people who can stir up changes in our life?
Okay. All right, Panford, like you asked, what are some of the ways that we will be able to connect with people who stir up greatness within us? It's easier than ever today, in today's world, to connect with people who stir up greatness. One is YouTube. YouTube is there. It's not only there for you to go and download series, CSI series, or some Indian soap opera, or some action movie, or watch, or go and download some movie that has been there for 10 years or something to watch it again. There are personal development channels on YouTube. For instance, you can visit, there's a channel called Success Magazine. When you type Success Magazine, there are success talks, and Success Magazine will give you access to some of the finest speakers around the world. That's where they all gather, and you hear them speak. Bring it to a Ghanaian context. There are several places that you can go to. There are several places. Some of the churches, someone like Dr. Mensa Otabil, who is a highly respected thought leader around the world, has a podcast that you can get on Google Podcasts or on YouTube. You can watch his messages. He's not just a pastor, he's also a personal development coach, as you know. You can receive from him by going on YouTube. And even when you go to the Play Store or your App Store, you see that there are so many personal development apps. You can also go to pdfdrive.net. It gives you legal access to some of the finest books. Books like Think and Grow Rich, books like The Richest Man in Babylon, and all that. You see, truth is, you may not be able to meet them in person, because that may not be possible. But you meet them in books. You get that? You might meet them in books. So you have access through books. You have access through their messages online. You have access. Or sometimes you just Google a topic. That's the easiest one. You can just Google a topic. Career development. And I can tell you so much information is going to flow. Videos, articles, whatever. Books. So there is access. Online is where I will take you to. Just go online. There's so much to learn. Okay? To save you money at the end of the day. It will just, you need a little data. If you like, use midnight data if you want to save money. And that's it. Okay. Good.
I wanted to ask if failure should be only financially related, because in this life, it's like when you get to some point in life and you are not financially stable, people will take it as if you failed in life. So should failure be linked to financial status?
Okay, so to answer your question, please, should failure only be related to finance? Because most people, like you said, when you are not financially stable, most people assume that you are a failure. Well, you see, the way we define success is wrong. Success is really not in things, but success, they say, is the accomplishment of a worthwhile goal. So success is not only about finance. That's why we say being financially successful. We say being educationally successful. You see, success is in different contexts. So let's say you are doing, getting very high grades, your GPA is very high, you're a first class student. Academically, you are successful. Do you get me? So success is in departments. So academically, you are successful. In terms of money, not yet. And don't forget that success is also is a journey. It's never a destination. It's a journey. So you may be poor today because you're a student. Most students are poor, except Bill Gates' son or daughter. Most students are usually poor because they don't earn an income except what mommy and daddy gives them. So it's not just that. Or if you're talking about your mom or your dad or your parents, they may not have much today. It's not about today, it's about tomorrow. Because when you succeed financially, the truth is that it's going to impact their lives and impact the life of everybody around you. You've heard of footballers who became millionaires and built their parents' houses overnight. Are you getting it? Their status changed just like that overnight. One person, then I moved to the other, answering the other question. Azuma Nelson, who has been put into the Hall of Fame, he's actually been inducted into the Global Hall of Fame, Boxing's Hall of Fame. This man was not educated. What was he doing? He was just a coconut seller. That's what he was doing. But his gift has made him financially successful. But at that time, if anyone saw him, they would say what? He was a failure. But that was not the end of his story. Do you get my point? Okay, so ask yourself, where am I today? And where do I want to be tomorrow? That's more important. Today, let's not judge with today. Because tomorrow the story can change. Okay? As you get education. All right. So please, that should answer your question, and maybe anyone watching this video who has a similar question.
My name is Derek Abose, a beneficiary from Faith Temple Child Development Center. And I want to ask a question on the habit of not giving up. Okay. And the question is, let's assume I am an SHS graduate and I'm applying for a course at the university. But anytime I try applying for the course, I'm being denied admission. I don't get the course, or I don't get admission. So as a student, should I keep on applying for the course because we are running out of time and new things are coming? Should I keep on applying for the course or I should go and do another thing?
Derek, very brilliant question that you asked there. Very, very brilliant question about persistence, about the habit of not giving up. You said that if you are applying to a university, applying for university education, and they keep denying you, what do you do? Should you give up? The truth is, when you give up, what next? When you give up, then it means you've given up on your education. But your education is a requirement, especially in this world, the present world we live in. You need education to make it in this world. Of course, I'm not saying education should only be limited to the four walls of the classroom, but you need a university education if you can get it. And see, there are different universities. So sometimes you might have tried this one. Look at your strategy again. Try and change strategy and see. Are you going to maybe change the course you're applying for? Because today the course is not as important as getting the degree. Because there are people who are in certain areas that they didn't train for. Okay? There are people who are great marketers who studied land economy or studied political science. But they are doing great in marketing. They are great salespeople in different organizations around the world. Do you get it? But they studied politics or studied arts, something related to English or social science or sociology or something, not necessarily marketing. So don't limit yourself to one university, don't limit yourself to one course. You can spread your wings. Or do you need to improve some of your subjects? Don't give up. You may not need to go and write your maths and your English again because they are key in getting your admission. Let the dream be stronger than the denial of admission. Let the dream be stronger than the denial of admission. If the dream is stronger, I'm telling you that admission, you being denied admission a few times will not override the strength of the dream within. Is that okay? The former the current president of his nation, I remember that, he lost several elections, but then I remember his campaign team song, one of the interviews he did on television, and they were playing that song, Something Inside So Strong. There was something inside so strong that no matter how many times I've lost, like Abraham Lincoln in America, I can become president. And today he has proven it. So don't give up. Let the dream be stronger than the denial.
Okay, so Uncle Daniel, I wanted to find out what's actually the difference between thinking big and actually rushing in life as an upcoming or as a young or as a youth who wants to develop his career?
Well, Joe, that's a good question. There's a big difference between thinking big and rushing in life. One thing you should always know is that there's always a distance between where you are today and where you want to be. There's a distance, and there's a distance to cover. I like a quote by one of the greatest motivational speakers who ever lived, Zig Ziglar. Zig Ziglar says that the elevator to success is always out of order, but the stairs are always open. The elevator to success is always out of order. The elevator is a lift. Once you jump on it, just press it in a few minutes or seconds if you like, you are there. So you want to be a globally respected personal development coach and or highly respected speaker around the world. So you start today and get into the elevator, you press it, and then the next year you are. That's the elevator of success. But it says that no, the stairs are always open. What it means is that to be successful, you have to use the stairs. The stairs will involve what? Effort. You have to climb. It depends on which floor you are going to. And don't forget, you want to get to the top. So there's going to be a lot of climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing. There is no elevator to success. Okay, so thinking big does not mean. That's why I like the phrase that dream big but start small. The journey, like the Chinese would say, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step. Start now, but you may not start big. But thinking big is about, the picture, the bigger picture you are seeing. It's about seeing where you are going. But you are not going to start from where you are going. Then it's not going to be a journey anyway because you're already there, so it's not a journey. Okay? So thinking big is not the same as rushing in life. Most young people, let me just wrap up that most young people rush, show off what they have on social media and the rest because of an identity problem. They have an identity problem that they think that number of followers they have on Instagram, on Facebook, and all that is what defines me. But that's not it. What if Facebook crashes? What if Instagram crashes? What becomes of you? Do you become irrelevant in life? Or what if something happens and you lose everything, you don't have the Range Rover again? Do you become irrelevant in life? So thinking big is about, I'm poor today, but I know I want to be rich. I look forward to being rich. It's not about rushing in life. Okay.
All right, so we've come to the end of another exciting edition of Youth Development Series, and I'm here with the participants. Hello, Peace.
Hi.
Tell me, did you enjoy the session?
Yeah, it was a very nice session.
So what do you have to share?
From the talk, I learned that it's your habits that determines if you become successful or a failure. So from everything, I'm sure you should watch our habits and know how to move with things.
You should watch our habits. What do you also have to say?
Okay, I actually learned, irrespective of the background of which you are from, there's actually a chance you can actually achieve your goal if only you stick to reading and then persevering with respect to your goals you've set for yourself.
Pamford, I think I should also hear from you.
So first, we made known, it was made known to us that reading help us. For you to become a leader, you need to get the habit of reading. That is what I've gotten today.
Okay, so now to Derek. Tell me something.
Oh, I also learned that whatever we are up to, we shouldn't give up on that. We should work hard and make sure we achieve that thing.
You should work hard and make sure you achieve that thing. So right from us here at ICG's Your Fanko, I want to thank you for joining us for this episode, and we hope to come to you another time next week. Thank you.